everybody? Welcome to Trick or Trio, the #1 podcast for haunting. We've got another very exciting episode for you guys today. We have a very special guest, Carlos from
Wait,
Spirit
what about
Halloween.
us,
Whoa.
bro?
Well, I mean, we'll get to you guys. We we'll get to you guys. Come on, let's be real. Carlos is more important than us here. At,
That
at,
is
at this
true.
point, let's be real here. Nobody cares about us. They're here for Carlos. But yes, of course, I am Tyler G.
I'm Brick Thunder.
I am Savannah.
And like I said, we are the Trick or Trio. As I said before, we are going to be featuring Carlos, and we are super excited about that. But before we get into that, there has been some leaks and like a lot of prototypes from different companies like Home Depot and Spirit that have just been out. There was a whole prototype marathon.
Marathon.
Yeah,
Yep.
marathon. And there were a couple that just really stood out to us. One being Dr. Needles, and one being the new sinister looking animatronic from Home Depot. Do you want to talk about him, Brooke?
Yeah, sure. So let's get the images on the screen here of either one. We'll start with the sinister looking one. Now, we say sinister because it looks like it. We're not 100% sure whether this is licensed or not. It looks extremely similar to the character from Sinister. And it's awesome. This thing is huge. It's about 8.5 feet tall from what I've seen. And it has some great motion. It's got the arm motion, the side to side. And as many of you probably know, Home Depot is not even released yet. Like, there's really nothing for Home Depot. There's
Right.
some images from the manager meeting or
Meeting,
whatever that
yep.
was, but other than that, there's no links or anything on their site. So it's pretty crazy to see someone actually get an animatronic from their new lineup this early before anything's even revealed. So it was a really cool thing to see all the details of this so early.
I do want to say something though, and looking at the photo for those that are watching us on YouTube, I think the scariest thing about this picture is all of the mold and fungus that's growing behind this animatronic.
Yeah, that.
The setting looks like a
The
horse
official
or
demo.
something. Yeah.
What's up with the polka dots on him?
I think those are supposed to be blood.
I think
like
it's supposed
blood
to be like
splatter.
yeah, blood and dirt over his clothing,
It
but
doesn't
it's
look
a bit
good.
too perfect.
I also don't like the way, and I don't know if this just needs to be less
Adjusted.
done. Well, no, I'm talking about the cuts at the bottom of his shirt, how they're just like
Oh.
perfect triangles.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
see
you
that.
know, there's other ways to make things look a little more weathered that I
Mhm.
kind of hate when we see stuff like that. But
I mean,
think-
his face looks really good.
Yeah, his face looks amazing. And it looks huge too. From what I've seen, the head is giant. The one thing I don't really like is his hands light up, which I'm not really sure what that's about. I just don't think it really makes sense with the character. But other than that, I think the motion's fine. It's got enough that it looks pretty realistic, and I do like that they added mouth motion.
I was
That's
just
pretty
gonna mention
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
wait, this guy with no mouth has mouth motion?
Yeah.
Yeah, it like stretches. It's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
just
Yeah,
looks like
exactly.
that.
Looks like he's
Exactly like that.
chewing.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice. I mean, I like that he got his hair straightened. He looks like a 1994 pimp.
Now, what about Dr. Needles, Brick? What about Dr. Needles?
Dr. Needles, let's get him on screen here. This is part of the prototype marathon as well. And this was one that I think is one of the most popular ones, if not the most popular and most talked about.
I really love like the warts on his head, like how
Oh,
the
yeah.
top of the head
The
has like that
melting head.
wart. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that was a really nice touch, and I mean the
Looks
face
cool.
just looks super realistic. One of the most I feel like realistic things we've seen. Like it's definitely up there, definitely
Well,
up there.
with this being a prototype, would that have been how the commercial one looked?
Exactly
Not
that.
sure.
Exactly.
You know,
True.
I do
I think
think
he looks really good with the mask, though.
But I mean,
like,
like we
covers
saw,
that.
we did see like Miss Mercy. Miss Mercy, she is definitely up there. I'd say for one of
Yeah.
the most realistic ones that we've seen. I would
Yeah.
say she's definitely up there.
That's
So it would have been really nice if he did look just like that produced.
do we know who the manufacturer was for it?
I think it's YJ, same as Miss Mercy.
Yeah, they
that
do
makes
really
sure
good
sense.
with detailing.
Yeah,
His
that
build
They
makes
is
do really
very
good with
similar.
detailing. They do a lot of like basic movements, but their detailing is always
Yeah.
like, and just look and quality is always
Mhm.
really good.
I feel like companies like I feel Spirit is kind of open up a door for a lot of these manufacturers to come in, because I feel like the other box stores are using like who Spirit may have used 2, 3, 5 years ago. And so I imagine we'll be seeing some YJ stuff at those other stores in the
That'd
upcoming
be
years.
definitely nice.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we
Mhm.
pretty much just see SVI, Techie, and sometimes like Pack, Jemmy. Those are, I feel like, the main ones we'll see outside of Spirit.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
besides that, really, no one else. Like, we don't see YJ, we don't see Party Time, stuff like them.
No, I think that we will, though, because I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, as the animatronics that Spirit released, we all know that they are like everybody looks to them to copy their own for their own store, right? But I think as they start looking into it on who has created what, as opposed to just copying Spirit's designs, that they'll start copying with the manufacturers.
Mhm.
That's at least what I imagine. So, which
I
would be good, because
yeah.
we'd be able to get some higher quality props throughout a bunch of stores.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You know,
I still think SVI has mainly the best quality overall. But it would be cool to see more YJ.
which
YJ, even for Spirit, I feel like there hasn't been too much recently.
well, and
Yeah,
it's
the
also
recent.
a trip, because I agree that at SVI, I've never really had an issue with their quality, but for
Mhm.
some reason, I feel like we're seeing less and less SVI at Spirit than we
Mhm.
did in years past.
Definitely.
So I wonder what that's all about, but maybe we can get some answers on that a little later today.
Maybe.
The hard hitting questions here on
I do know
TRT.
I do know SVI has a really large minimum order quantity, so I think that's one reason a lot of companies don't like going with them.
That makes sense.
But yeah, their quality is awesome. And
Yeah.
they are really not limited at all. They do anything.
Yeah.
What's going on in your personal lives, fellas? I know that Tyler had a prom recently.
Oh, yes. Didn't even think about mentioning that. Yeah, that's right.
Well, then it must have
From
not been fun.
no, it was a blast. Well, I always think just something Halloween related. I never think necessarily, like that. But yes, prom last weekend, had a great time. Lots of dancing, lots of food.
Did you do
Stayed
the
over at
robot?
the Of course you got to do the robot, whip it out. But no, stayed at the beach for the weekend. It was nice and relaxing. Nice break from work and stuff like that.
And you had
Um
lobster
Oh, yes, I
sandals.
had lobster. Oh, they're downstairs. I
Uh,
had lobster slides because we love our lobster here.
Savannah doesn't. He hates
You don't like
lobster.
lobster?
He
No, it's
hates
disgusting.
everything seafood.
And
Dude,
then
hold on,
I
time out. The thing
okay,
about lobster that everybody's like, oh, lobster, it's so delicious.
it
Dude, those
is.
things are bottom feeders.
Well,
Everything that goes to the bottom, that's what they eat. So all the little fish turds and everything.
then I guess fish turds taste good. I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know.
Someone's gonna
There's
make that a
something
clip right there.
And then best of all, I spent $30 on mac and cheese with lobster in it,
Mhm.
but it was worth it.
And a henna tattoo.
Did you
Yeah.
ever get that gumball machine?
Oh, I did.
For the
That's somewhere over
Nice.
here. Yeah,
He got this Bean Boozled gumball machine where it like
As a
filters a
yeah,
random
as a
Bean
lot of
Boozled for
you
a live stream.
know, on my live streams, whenever I get a donation, I will do Bean Boozle challenge. It could be good, it could be bad. I can't get the top on,
Or it
but
could be liver
I
and
got
onion.
this you guys on like Spotify and stuff like that can't see it, but for on YouTube, it's this little Bean Boozle gumball machine thing that I saw on the boardwalk, and then you just kind of twist it, and then the Bean
Wait,
Boozles
does
will
it
drop
bounce
down.
down those other ones? Like it's like a little.
I haven't tried it out yet.
Oh.
But then I also got these, which are spicy Bean Boozles, which I'm excited for that. They've got like sriracha, jalapeno, cayenne, habanero, and Carolina Reaper Bean Boozles.
So which ones are
So
the gross ones?
all of them.
It's just about spice level.
Yeah.
Basically
So
with that one?
yeah, basically, it could either be like a mildish spice and go up to like the Carolina Reaper spice.
That's cool.
Have you had
I have
Carolina Reaper before?
I have not.
You better eat that bean on the toilet.
I'm not a big spice guy either, so this is taking a
Was that what was
big
in the
risk.
chip? What was in the chip?
The chip had Carolina Reaper.
Okay, then yes, I have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and then
And I
so
guess
then
the
yes, I have.
2023 one chip is hotter than any year in the past.
Are you gonna do
Oh,
it?
wonderful.
I don't know. That's
Not at
pretty-
flagship.
Yeah, don't do it at flagship.
Please, not at
We gotta wait till
flagship.
they bring the porta potties in.
Yeah.
Then we'll talk about
Exactly.
it.
Then we'll do
Yeah,
it.
I don't want to go back to Boscov's, use their bathroom, explode their bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
What's been going on with you, Brick?
Well, we've been prepping for Midwest a lot. Our booth is actually, I'll pull up a picture. Our booth is extremely close to being done now. So
Oh,
it's
there we
a
go.
picture where you can see some of the logos on the walls. You can see the black walls in the background. Those are our booth walls. Then we have the wing mechanism in front. That's taken in the garage, so we didn't have the flyer on top. But we will have the flyer mechanism on top of those walls, flying a character around 20 feet in the air. And then we have Kane over to the right and the second prop, which is releasing hopefully next Sunday on the left side.
Right on. And I did see, I know that the rest of the world hasn't seen it just yet, but we did see, Tyler and I saw the flying mech that you had worked on, which looks
Oh,
amazing.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we're
Very
super
cool.
excited about that. We mounted a HalloweenCostumes.com prop on it, and it looked awesome. So that's probably what will be at the show.
It works. It
and
works really well
It
with
does.
it. Like,
It works
it's
really
perfect.
well. It
Really
looks
does.
terrifying. And when it's mounted on top, flying 20 feet, it's really cool.
I still think the dragon would have been cooler.
Yeah, dragon
Not
would have
really
been
doable,
awesome.
but it would have been a lot cooler.
Yeah. Just
Would have
a
been
bit too
great
heavy.
sitting on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you, Savannah? What's going on for you?
Not much travel. Getting ready for a couple more trips that we got to do, but I did finish building out my rotten Ronald McDonald.
Ooh.
So we're going to be dropping a video on that this week.
Did you ever find a cow head?
So I did find a cow head that is being sent here. However, it was not cheap.
Mm.
It was probably more expensive than some of the other stuff on the prop, but yeah, for those that don't know, it is a Ronald McDonald type animatronic swinging a bloody meat tenderizer, and he is going to be holding a decapitated cow's head. And I even have a McDonald's bag that I'm thinking of adding one of the Wendy's braids sticking out of it. So,
Nice.
Oh,
not-
that's smart.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
not sure about
like
that part
that.
yet, but
You
that's
definitely should do that. That would be really cool.
that's
clever.
the
Yeah.
goal. So, but other
Cool.
than that, just getting ready for flagship, man. And and also I know that some people have brought up the very blurry 6-foot neon ice cream clown that I posted onto YouTube, and I will be having some very clear images and video coming most likely next week as well, and possibly an unboxing coming soon.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's what's been going on over her. Do we want? I'll tell you guys. I know that we usually go a little bit longer on this little intro segment, but I'm very excited for tonight's guest.
I say let's get into it.
Yeah,
let's do
bring
it.
him in.
Let's do it.
Carlos Mendoza.
Hello, welcome,
Welcome.
Carlos.
What's up,
going
guys? How are you?
on?
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. By
Yes.
the way, that title card is awesome.
Oh,
Gotta say
thank
that.
you. Oh, that's all Savannah. Yeah.
It is.
Pretty cool. I like that. What's up, guys? How are you?
How are you doing?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
we can hear
Yep.
you. Can you hear
Awesome.
us?
Okay, we're good.
Carlos, can you hear us?
All right. I can't see you guys or hear the other guys.
You can only hear me.
Uh-oh.
I can only hear Tyler.
That is weird.
Well, Tyler, have fun. We got the day off.
Take a break.
We'll just relay all of our questions through Tyler.
Yeah.
I mean, should we?
Go ahead, get started.
Is that what it's gonna come? Okay. So I guess I'm asking the questions now.
So
So
you're a cop. I'm asking the questions now.
time to get interrogated. Okay.
I mean, what
Oh,
are
This
his
is
thoughts
live.
on
Live. Let's go.
what are his
live.
thoughts on Dr. Needles?
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on Dr. Needles? Like,
So when I first saw Doc Needles, he was a really cool character. I mean, I thought he was one of just the cleanest sculpt I've seen in a long time from Spirit. I had just recently started, And so, I got to see, I think, like 2 iterations of him, which is really cool. But yeah, it was just unfortunate that, we couldn't come to a final stage for him. We had other projects in the works, so we moved forward. And yeah, the last time I saw it, it's kind of weird. Yeah, it's okay. So
Just very, for some reason, it's being like
Speaking of
laggy.
doing the robot,
Tech- technical difficulties.
I think I killed Savannah.
What is going on? Okay,
I don't see him.
It's
in
because
here
you
anymore.
said you were going to interrogate him, Tyler. That's
Yeah.
why.
you got scared.
This is what happens when we do it live, guys.
Oh, he's here.
I can hear him.
Okay, we can't see you, but we could hear you.
What's up, guys? How are you? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Good to
Thank
see
you
you
for
guys.
joining on. Thank you for joining on. Welcome.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Oh,
We're doing great,
We're
man.
good.
How are
I'm
you?
good, man. Good to be here. It's good. I'm on vacation,
You're-
but it's all good. I'm ready to head back to work soon, and so just enjoying the weekend right now.
it was your vacation.
A lot of fun stuff going on. What's that?
How long do you take a little vacation from Spirit from?
Oh, I just took a week off. My dad was in town from
Gotcha.
California, and so like my sister was here too, and so I'm back.
Wait.
Is it
Wait,
Wait,
it's a
I
bit
think it's
glitchy
catching
again.
up.
Then okay.
No, he's not.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Wait, you said from California. What part of California?
I'm originally from LA, and so I moved here for Spirit Halloween. So yeah, so my family came down. I haven't seen my family in a while, so I just had them fly down and come hang out with me for the weekend. So for the week
Right on
actually.
up.
So they just left today, which is really cool.
I was born and raised in San Diego, so I have a real question for you. How horrible
for
is
it.
the New Jersey Mexican food?
It's pretty bad. Actually, I had some today, and it was just 2 thumbs down. If I had a third one, I'd give it
You
2
guys,
thumbs
no,
down.
you guys need to go to this place called Margaritas. It is amazing. They have some of the best Mexican
Everyone
food I've
says
ever
that,
had.
Tyler. Tyler, let me tell you something. Everyone says that here. You gotta try Tacos del Tío. You gotta try Cheeto Burrito. You
Taco
gotta
del
try.
Tío is
and I'm like,
okay.
dude, no.
He's like, you got to try
Come
this
on,
very
see, the fact
exquisite
that-
spot.
They're-
It's called
they're-
Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Their chimichangas, their mini chimichangas
You
are
saying
amazing. They're to die-
chimichanga lets us know it's not good, dude.
They're so good. They're amazing.
No, we need taco
Savannah,
shop.
the
Has
fact
to
that
have
you- the
bars
fact
on
that
the
you're from-
windows.
But at least we got pizza. At least we got some good pizza.
Yes, I'll give you that. The pizza here is phenomenal. Here. It's
Bagels,
amazing.
we got
I gotta give you that.
crazy bagels.
Oh wait, what was
Bagels.
that place?
Bagels are.
Don't you guys have like
Bagels
that
don't
pretzel place too? Right by Flagship.
Mm.
Philly,
was
that's
that?
Philly pretzel.
Oh, the-
Okay, yeah, because
Philly
got
we have a
those,
bunch
and
of
those were
pretzel
good.
places. No, but
Savannah, the fact that you're from San Diego, it's like you have the authentic Mexican because you guys
Oh,
are
yeah,
right
yeah,
at the border. Like you guys get the good stuff. LA,
Yeah,
is also
even
a
LA
good
can
spot,
be a
but-
little shaky
Yeah.
when it comes to Mexican food too.
Yeah,
Because a lot of the
right,
people
yep,
up there,
right
they try to make it a little too artsy. They're like, oh hey, this
Yes.
is instead of using like cotija cheese, they're like, oh, this is a
Yeah.
rare virgin goat cheese.
Are you flying into LAX?
we are driving to California, and then we're gonna be flying back.
Are you guys flying back from LAX?
I don't know. We don't have the tickets yet. My aunt's.
If you do,
Yeah.
go to a spot called Frijoles. Frijoles,
Frijoles.
right there by LAX. A
Okay.
bomb. Like
We'll probably
hands
be in
down,
that area.
really good spot.
And that's
Um,
the
Good
only
spot.
place that you can go, and it has to be before dark because if you go after dark, you're gonna get attacked at that gas station right there by LAX.
but yeah,
I think it's a shell.
we're going from Jersey to Illinois. We're going from Jersey to Illinois to Texas to Colorado to California.
Wow.
So
That's cool.
it's like a 2.5
Have fun,
week
man. That's cool.
vacation. Super excited for it.
That's
So
awesome.
we're gonna be stopping at everyone's house. Gonna
Very
stop
cool.
at Brooke's house, Savannah, Ryan, Distortions, bunch of stuff.
Very
But
cool,
yeah,
dude. Right on.
enough about me. We need about Carlos here. So yeah, tell us a little about growing up in like LA and stuff like that. How was it? What got you into like all of this?
Well, I mean, it's like I was born in Nicaragua for when I was 3 years old, I came to America and lived in LA most of my entire life. And so grew up in LA, Huntington Park, and then moved to Downey area. That was my final destination. Um, and yeah, all my upbringings was very much artistic, very artsy. Got into graffiti. I was very heavy in that. And then yeah, I just I got in trouble and I kind of stopped doing that. And my probation officer kind of led me in the right direction. And so the rest is history. I kind of went down this awesome path of art school and art in general, and I just wouldn't stop. And my dad, my family really tried to sway me into other directions, but I think my love for art was just always there. And so I hung out with a lot of artists, a lot of designers, and people that I mean, as I grew up, I started getting into the industry, I started getting more and more familiar with different things about illustrations and graphic design and things like that. And so actually my very first job I got was in the toy world professionally, was designing graphics for cars. I was doing flames on hot rods and pinstriping on lowrider. To video games, I got into some of that a little bit, and I got my first taste of concept design, and that was what changed everything for me. Once I got into concept design, I fell in love with it. I left Illustrator and I went straight into Photoshop, and I never looked back, man. It became like my go-to program. Started learning how to do, characters and, all kinds of stuff. And, I've been doing toys. I was doing toys for, gosh, after that, I was doing toys for about 18 years. I was doing toys with Hasbro on some toys for Angry Birds. I got to work on some, Star Wars. I got to work on so many things, and throughout my career, and I got to work with Disney. On Moana, I got to work on a bunch of different things that licensing. It was mainly licensed product stuff like that. So I was doing a lot of consumer goods, and then finally I got to just start doing my own thing. I really started liking fantasy art and got into it and started drawing monsters and creatures, and I started hanging out with the crowd that was very heavy into that. And I started changing my pattern and started drawing more like a Blizzard style, like Blizzard Entertainment, more like World of Warcraft stuff.
I think we lost him. Hello?
Carlos, you there?
Oh, was I talking to myself?
Yeah.
A little bit.
I love this guy. Oh,
For a little bit.
we heard you say like, you
yeah.
were working
I
with
was like,
Disney,
man,
you were
you
doing all these license
you
stuff.
stopped
You started
around
drawing
Blizzard.
like Blizzard, and then you stopped.
And then I started entertaining myself. Okay. All right. So so I started changing up my style, and I wanted to go work at Blizzard. So I actually got together with a friend of mine, and he told me that, like, I said, what does it take to go to Blizzard? Well, he said, your anatomy is no good. Your facial expressions are absent, and your lighting is all over the place. So you need to get to work. And so I literally pretty much just hunkered down for about 3 years, going on 4 years, just working on my Blizzard style, anatomy, my lighting, construction, all my fundamentals. And eventually, I built a strong enough portfolio to get noticed, and I got interviewed at Blizzard finally after almost 4 years. I finally got interviewed at Blizzard, which is a big accomplishment. Got some, met some really good people there, some of my heroes. A lot of things just didn't line up for me, so I didn't end up pursuing it. But then again, it's I started working on Subway Surfer, which is the app game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And which is all these toys that you see back here. All of those are all Subway Surfer. So I got to work on the entire line.
Did you work on like Subway Surfers like on the game itself, or just like with the toys and stuff?
Just toys. I was only product
Okay.
development. So when I
awesome.
mention that stuff, it's
That's
really
really
just
cool.
product development. So I'm just a toy designer. So yeah, when I was working on that, I got to work on some graffiti characters and stuff. So I was doing a lot of graffiti art on the trains and stuff like that. So it kind of went full circle from my graffiti days to now I'm doing it for product, which is really cool. And then I just kind of kept doing that. And then I started doing on the side, I started drawing monsters and creatures because I was doing so much of that for like the Blizzard portfolio, that it wasn't for nothing actually, because that's what actually got the attention of Spirit Halloween when I was posting on LinkedIn. And I got contacted from Spirit, and then they were just very kind. They had some kind words to say about my work, and so I was like, yeah, let's do it, let's talk. And so we started talking, and then they hit me with the location, and I was so excited up until she said New Jersey. And I was like, no, this is like the best job ever. Now you're gonna tell me it's in New Jersey. So yeah, it took me about, I would say, probably about 3 months of just back and forth, and and I finally got a call from HR, and they send me down here to check out what Jersey's like. And definitely a culture shock. 100%. Weather was ridiculous here. I came in the winter, hit my Cali bones like you wouldn't believe. Like it just was it hit my Cali bones so hard, man. I felt it in my spirit, the cold here. And so yeah, I took the job, and yeah, and I've been here 3 years now. So it's been a really fun journey, and learned a lot. Especially the respect I have for the team that was before me, that was working on these animatronics. I came in with the notion that I could design characters the way I would a video game, or something like that. And so I quickly came to find out that obviously that's not going to work out. You know what I mean? And so I had to change my whole way of thinking when it came to animatronics and weapons and all that stuff, because it was not a video game anymore. This was real world. So I had to change gears from virtual to doing something you can hold, something you play with, something you that has function. So I had to change back to my toy perspective, and really start designing more of a function. Materials, now you have to play with materials and that sort of stuff. So it took me about a year to actually get back to the groove of that again. And so it's basically a very interesting genre, and it's definitely something that I respect very much. It's been my dream since God knows how long, but it's been my dream to work at a Halloween company, because I used to always see it at the stores. I used to go to a spirit store before and be like, man, these tombstones look super cheap, and they look so like ugh. And I would criticize it so much that I was like, man, I wish I had the job to to do something cool. And now I'm here in New Jersey doing it. So now my team's doing some really cool stuff.
With you've been at Spirit now for 3 years, what would you say at Spirit that you created is so far like your crown jewel thus far, right?
Because I'm a toy guy, like I take pride in like product development. So, and because I'm a director, I touch a lot of things, and so I kind of help the team.
Now, Carlos is also going to talk about how trash the New Jersey internet is.
I'm fine. Look at me. I'm
Yeah,
fine.
I can hear you and see you.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
It sounds
Then I
really
don't need
good
to worry
now.
about
Okay.
Okay. So you were saying that you have like a team of folks that you like to give them a competitive nature.
Well,
Call. Savannah's just dead. I think we've lost Savannah. What should I call him?
No, you didn't really lose me, Amy. I put my head down. He's back again.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, it's Chris. It's clear.
Were you on the wrong Wi-Fi or something the whole time?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I don't know where you guys are at. I'm just like, it keeps blowing off.
You're like connected to the McDonald's Wi-Fi
think
or
it's-
something.
hold up, because now
I
I
think
can't
it's-
hear him. I like actually.
I'm on
can't hear him.
AOL right now.
Aim.
See how you guys laughed
Hello?
and Tyler and Brick didn't laugh because they didn't
Because
get
they don't know what it is. Yeah.
We know AOL because Distortion still uses AOL.
Oh man. Okay,
How about
where
this?
do you want to go before my McDonald's
freaks up
internet
again.
goes out?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
So
got him. We've got him.
You were saying before how you have your team. Yeah, right now you get your team to be a bit competitive and but we weren't able to hear what we were saying your like crown jewel or your biggest accomplishment so far at Spirit is.
I think being able to that's a really tough question, because like I touch a lot of stuff there, you know what I mean? Like a lot of my things are, I mean, from statues to, I mean, there's a lot of things that I touch, and so a lot of things I design. Like one of my favorite things, I think because I'm a big fan of Mark Davis from Disney. He was one of my heroes growing up in the industry. Designing the the statue for Victor Geist was probably my ideal collectible, next to the Killer Clowns from Outer Space figures. Those would probably be my favorites, only because like they really took me back to my toy days and my collectible days. So being able to have the creative freedom to design something, you know what I mean, and do it from start to finish, any of those would, I would say, are crown jewels, because they are from my imagination. And so the fact that people get to appreciate them and enjoy them, those make me feel happy to know that people are receiving them really well, especially with Killer Clowns, because we didn't know how they were going to react to those, because those were designed just straight up, just free-handed, like they just, but I think that, but if you're talking animatronics, I would say, I would probably say, probably the Widow would probably be one of them. Reagan would probably be another one that I was able to work with Pablo on, my friend Pablo. So I think Reagan and probably Reagan and Widow would probably be my two ones.
Did you work on the Spirit Halloween branded statues, like the Crouchy and the?
I did. Those were all, yeah. Those I designed those. Yeah.
Those are my favorite. I love
Thank you,
them.
dude. I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah. So basically, what I wanted to do is just I wanted to make these designs look like, what if they were animated cartoons? Like, what if you were like Saturday morning cartoons, and we had a Spirit version of that, and like, what would it look like? And so I just started designing the Reaper in that way. But the Reaper is very special because he's our brand, so we have to we have to walk careful with him, because we want to make sure that he fits the persona or the brand, you know what I mean? So we were very careful with him. But I was really grateful that, I got to work with the creative team that works on the branding, and they were able to kind of allow me to kind of bring it into a 3-dimensional format with my 3D team. So and then designing his face was just another mission, you know what I mean, to get that face in the 3-dimensional world, to make it kind of ideal to match the logo brand. So, but again, we ended up all coming to a really cool spot, and I think it worked out, and I think it was really cool. Crouchy was another one too, because Crouchy's an iconic character, but I don't know. I mean, it's a cool character. I wanted to just kind of do him justice, but at the same time, I wanted to do something more like something cool and stylized.
Right.
So I gave it a more of a graffiti-esque feel to him, you know what I mean, with the fat shoes, and I kind of give him a little bit more style to him. Yeah, I just enjoy drawing characters, you know what I mean? They're really fun and stuff. Like, yeah, those are really fun, and so
and when you were talking about the Killer Clowns from Outer Space, we're talking about I think there were some I don't remember what the item was, but there was like I remember seeing Shorty, and he kind of looked like he had like one eye like a little smaller than the other one, and they have more of like a hip hop vibe to him.
yeah.
What was the item though? I'm trying to remember.
It's this. You're probably talking about this one right here.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So doing these right here are a completely different vibe than anything that we've seen that you've been able to, typically, at least with Spirit, they would have a license for something, and it seemed like it was like, hey, this is the license, it needs to look exactly like this. And I feel like now we're starting to see more of a stylized version of it that I think all of the fans are really appreciative. Especially, there's a huge Killer Clowns from Outer Space fandom out there, myself included. I mean, I got my gun right here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
yeah, I think there was a time where, well, the fact that the story is that the MGM never gave us a style guide. They didn't have a style guide for the Killer Clowns. There is no style guide. So a lot of the art is kind of created by the artists or the illustrators, and they got to get it submitted and so forth and so on. So when we were tasked to do it, it was obviously in our department. So Dave, one of the design managers here, was like, I'd like to see what it would look like in a Carlos, like if Carlos was like, what would it look like if Carlos did it? So I was like, I kind of didn't really like Killer Clowns. Like, I was like, oh, this is horrible. This is like so cringy and bad.
But that's what makes people love it.
No, that's it. But that's another story. I really want to tell you guys too about designers not working on things they don't really like, and then finding the appreciation in it. Which is another really cool thing about being a designer, is like finding that challenge and seeing how you can make it fun for yourself. And that's what exactly what I did with Killer Clowns. I said, I was on a weekend. I said, you know what, I'm gonna take that chance, see what will come out of it. So I started doodling Shorty first. I started doing Shorty, and I started doodling him, and I was like, this is actually pretty fun because it looked like graffiti character. They looked like style characters. So I was like, I'm gonna go for it. So I started drawing them, and then I started drawing Slim, and I drew Slim, and then I did Slim, and then I presented them in color, and I was like, here's what I think it should look like, or I was kind of like, just showing them, okay, these are pretty cool. I think these are really cool. I think that's what made it fun for me, and I think getting awarded our licensing, we got the license award for the Killer Clowns because it was so unique. From MGM, they gave us an award for best licensee or whatever for 2022, I think it was. So that was an honor because again, it was just something that came out of like, let's see what Carlos can do with it. So I took pride in that because like I said, it was really cool, and I think it made for really cool product. But again, it's exactly what I did with SpongeBob. SpongeBob was the same way. They gave us SpongeBob, and Nickelodeon said, do what you guys want to do, and they let us do all these cool things, and that's the key thing when you let designers get into it and they know more or less the brand, and they get involved with the brand. A lot of cool things can happen. You know what I mean? A lot of really good, interesting stuff can happen. And so, David,
that's kind of how I feel like with my tattoo artists. Is I'm like, hey, I kind of want this vibe, but do you?
Yeah.
Because that's when you're going to see the best work, is when you let the artist do the artwork.
So you did like the Killer Clowns, like little like figures and stuff like that. Did you do the Shorty animatronic as well?
Well, the Shorty was a collaborative thing because Shorty, anything that we do, we wanted all the characters, like the masks, like Slim's mask, all the masks that we did for them. We want to make sure that they were true to the story. And so Stephen Pfeiffer, he's one of the design managers for the 3D team. He's the one he leads the design team for the 3D guys. He sculpted the Shorty head, and he wanted it to be as accurate as possible. So this is kind of like one of the things that I push my guys to do, is really to go for accuracy and especially anatomy when it comes to facial structure and give the integrity to the character. Like Reagan, for example, we really worked hard to get Reagan to look really as close as Linda Blair as possible,
right?
Because we want Linda Blair in your house. We want her to be in your room. Like, we want that character. So that's the whole purpose, right? And so when we were working on Killer Clowns, we really wanted to give the fans a true look at what that could be.
Right,
so
like a movie accurate.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that goes for anything. Like I said, anything that we do, it's gotta be, it's top quality, because we don't want to have step. And again, me coming from the toy world and licensing, we have to make sure that everything is accurate to whatever the product is. So with that in mind, I want to make sure that everything that we do has to have a quality that is just up to the standard of replica, you know what I mean? And so we try to do that as best we can. We are limited because of our factories and things that we do, but overall, I mean, we try to do our best to make sure that we bring to the fans the best possible quality that we can, you know what I mean? Because we're fans too, you know what I mean? I became a Killer Clowns fan. I did, and that was just because I fell in love with the brand, and I fell in love with the characters, and the fact that I was given the freedom to design these characters this way, and my team designing Shorty and brainstorming with the buyers about, putting separate gloves and putting his hands and stuff. And so every little detail of those characters, I mean, our team just really went through it. We had bought, a lot of cool references for it. And so yeah, he came out pretty awesome. I think he was pretty accurate. I mean, we literally went through the movie back and forth, and we started measuring his height and everything from his shoes to the top of the hair. We wanted to make sure the length was correct. Everything was up to par to a movie quality. So again, and you guys saw the results of it. It came out really cool.
It's a trip.
Super popular one too.
Yeah, very popular.
Cool. It came out great. The team did a great job on that one. Yeah.
And it's a trip because sometimes you see, like for instance, we always talk about like Michael Myers or Leatherface that you see at these other stores or what have you. And you look at him and you're like, that doesn't look like Michael Myers. It looks like Michael, Byers or something. It looks like his cousin.
It looks like
too skinny.
It looks like you bought him on Wish.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Like the
But Shorty, the second you see Shorty, you know exactly who. There's no like,
It's perfect.
It is.
Now,
Same with Reagan.
would you say you like working on those licensed things more than original designs, or do you like the original design, like the process of that?
I love it both. I'll tell you why. Because both give me the satisfaction of a challenge. You know what I mean? And that's what I chase. I chase the challenge. So if, let's say, for example, the buyers say to us, you know what, we're going to get this particular license or whatever, like our goal on our team is to ensure that we get the best quality out there, like the best looking, whatever the hell it's going to be. It's got to be the top of the top. Because we know our competition. We know who's coming out with garbage. Like I'll say it, it's garbage. It's not. When I saw Leatherface, I was like, that's embarrassing. Like like I said, for being a horror fan, I mean, I'm tattooed horror on my. I mean, I love horror. I love horror, dude. I love it. So I look at these things and I say to my team, I say, you know, we have to come up with the best looking whatever the hell it's going to be.
Right.
For licensing, right? Because again, we have to do it justice. And again, we know what our competitors are doing. We understand the dynamics of what the fans are looking for. And I know what the fans are going to be critiquing. They're going to be looking at, the first thing you're going to see at is, does he look like whatever the hell it is? Yeah. Does she look like Reagan? Does she look like, or does this character look like this or whatever? And it's like, we have to ensure that that's the quality that, you know, because we know what you guys are going to, we know what you guys are after. So,
And
and that's the beauty of it.
I feel like definitely when it comes to especially licensed stuff, when it comes down to the price, most collectors really don't care. They just care about a screen accurate prop or something that looks straight from the movie. Like people will spend thousands of dollars
so much on the
screen
old
accurate
ones.
props.
Yep.
I totally agree with that.
Genuine material and stuff like that.
I agree with that, and I think that's the key thing coming from licensing. I think anytime I buy anything licensed, I know I'm going to spend money on it. It's hands down. If it's non-licensed, I know I'm not going to spend a whole lot. I just know it's cool. I think I'll buy it, whatever, because I mean, as you can see, I collect a lot of different things, and so, but for when to answer your question about the non-licensed stuff, I love it because it comes out of our imagination. So like that's an imagination thing. So now that's like being a kid. Like that's the part where you're just like, okay, what could be scary? What can we tell a story with? What is he going to sound like? What is she going to sound like? What is her motion? So now your gears are moving. We start brainstorming and so it's kind of cool because it involves a lot of us to kind of brainstorm together, which is really cool. But at the same time, the designers are in charge of digging deep into our creativity and really try to come up with something that hasn't been seen, something that hasn't been, done. And even, like I said, it's just all imagination stuff, which is the best part of it. You know what I mean? And Brick, you know this now that you designed your very own. So it's very fun. It's very rewarding because now people can validate your inspiration or your concept or whatever it is, your design, because they'll be like, oh man, that person has a great eye for horror, or this person has like Stephen King. When you think of Stephen King, you're going to get a cool horror character. So that's kind of what we chase. We want to be in that, in that same, pedestal of the Kings and the, like the Kubricks and all these cool iconic characters that they've created in these genres. And so like Guillermo del Toro, you know what I mean? He has like an amazing library of just amazing characters. But when you know that Del Toro's going to do a movie, you're going to get some really unique characters. Right. So I think for Spirit, that's how I take it when it comes to being an art director. I really want to know that when you guys see the name Spirit, that you guys are going to get like
top notch.
And that's like I'm saying, like I've said this many times before. I think I said to Tyler, it's like, when you want to buy a Ferrari, you go to the Ferrari dealership. You don't buy a Honda at the Ferrari dealership. You know what I mean? So if you want to buy a Honda, go to Home Depot. You know what I mean? Cool. You can get all the Hyundais all you want. But if you want a Ferrari, you go to Spirit. You know what
Shots
I mean?
fired.
So no, but that's the reality.
It's real though.
Right?
It's real, right?
It's the reality, dude. Like that's what I mean. It's like, so, I mean, at the end of the day, we appreciate what you guys do. We appreciate what you guys chase. And just like us fans, we're fans of the same thing. And so, we end up kind of nerding out with you guys because we say, you know what, if we're going to do, let's say we're going to do, I don't know, we're going to do King Kong, right? We're going to do King Kong so we want him with the shackles. We want him to be like, he's got scars. We want to make sure he's been through the jungle. He's been through some mess and he's fought Godzilla already. So we tell this massive story in our head so that we ensure that the fans can see the scars. They know that this Kong is from this movie. this Kong is from whatever. So that's the true essence of what we do as far as licensing goes. And non-license, we like to take our imagination to a level that it's satisfying, not only our horror gratification, but it's also the fans as well. You know what I mean? We want somebody to buy it and be like, holy cow, man, that thing looks super damn creepy in my house.
When you guys design, do you already have an idea of what mechs the manufacturers have, or are you telling the manufacturer, hey, I want it to do this, and then they're telling you about the mech?
It could work both ways. I mean, it works both ways. I mean, we can come up with something really unique and they can show us something unique, or we might use something like you guys have seen, like we did with Crouchy. Like, for example, Crouchy, we use the same mechanism on the possessed pumpkin guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was cool because we were able to change him up enough to where, yeah, he does move side to side, but he looks more imposing than Crouchy does. He looks a lot more menacing. He looks bigger and cooler. And Crouchy will always stay iconic to Spirit, but I think that utilizing mechanisms like that, and I think we did that in diecast too. Like when we were in the diecast world, like with cars, we would just deco them differently, and we would you would sell hundreds of different other cars that are the same, CRX or whatever, so
Right.
or the XR7 or whatever.
Now, obviously, you can't talk about anything for like 2023, but I don't know if you could talk about this. How many animatronics did you design?
Some.
If you can give a number. I don't know.
I've designed a good amount of them. Some of them, like I said, because I've been here for 3 years, a lot of it was just me helping my team get to that destination. So a lot of it is art directing. So I don't design a whole lot to say like I've done a whole mess of them. Like I've done like a handful of them. I think I've done a handful of them. But my job is really to make sure that the guys, have the best looking whatever it is. You know what I mean? And
They can see their vision, get them to the finish line.
I take their vision and I try to get it to a place where it's going to be so incredible that they'll be proud of the final product. You know what I mean? And again, I just enhance their imagination and I help them get it to the finish line. But again, it's their creation. So I think, like I was telling you earlier, like I was telling you guys, like I am there to facilitate, I'm just there to facilitate art direction. So if let's say, for example, a hand doesn't look right, I'm going to say, dude, those fingers look horrendous, or they'll look,
Right.
we need to fix these, or we need to update these hands, or you know what, this lip looks wrong. Make sure that you adjust the jaw and maybe blah, blah, blah. And then so I make sure that it looks accurate to what their vision is, because sometimes when you're staring at something for so long, sometimes you get blurred, you know what I mean? And so you don't really get to see it. So when I come in with fresh eyes and either my experience with character design, I'm able to enhance, their work a little bit more. And then again, take their vision to where the level they wanted to get to. So, and also with materials, I work with them with materials to make sure that they get the proper materials to be able to execute the right, details that they're looking for. So again, my hands are touched. I touch a lot of things, from their hands, expressions, maybe even like poses or posture. So again, I touch a lot of things there. Like, I mean, seriously, I touch almost everything that's in that department. So from weapons too, like I could turn around and look at a weapon and be like, nope, that weapon looks incorrect. Make sure that the handle, the hand guard, or what, I talk about anatomy with the weapons, and I want to make sure that it looks like a replica. I want weapons to look like replica. Even if it's $9.99, I want this thing to look freaking like it's like a $30 weapon.
Right.
Because again, the quality of Spirit for me is the highest. Whatever it is that comes out of that department has to be at the toppest level possible. And again, my team has gotten to a place where that's the standard, and we just work with that standard in mind. So then that's why you're going to continue seeing that elevated design language and execution moving forward.
So to kind of go back, to talk a little bit about, I know we talked about your past and all that, being where you are now, knowing that there is a whole, and I'm sure you've seen it firsthand, a whole huge Halloween community, but even more so a huge Spirit Halloween community. How does it feel that after all those years of you putting in work, whether it be with the spray cans and the glass etchers, all the way up to working on cars and toys, to now pretty much making sure that Spirit is running a tight ship on their art direction. How does it feel knowing that there are so many people literally across the world that are looking forward to your work and your team's work dropping on an annual basis with crazy anticipation?
It feels great. First and foremost, I thought that working on, on Star Wars products and stuff like that was like, we had some crazy fans waiting for drops. You know what I mean? And so, but nothing compares to a Spirit fan. That's for sure. When you hear stories of you guys finding out what box of things are coming in and what factory it released and when it released, I don't even know half that stuff, and I'm just like shocked by that.
We're nerds. We're
But
weird.
it's actually, I think the whole team, I can speak probably for the whole team to say like we are honored and privileged to have fans like you guys, because you guys are the the true the true haunters, man. You guys are the guys that are out there really taking our stuff and really sharing it with the world, especially through your podcast, sharing it through your social medias and your YouTube channels. I think the fact that you guys are out there really bringing it to the next generation. I see little kids chasing brick around, you know what I mean? And so this is a good thing, because again, you guys are keeping that spirit, no pun intended, but you're keeping that spirit alive. And we just want to facilitate that. And I think continuously, we all feed off of each other. You know what I mean? So it's a humongous community, and we at Spirit definitely, at least I'll speak for my team. We're very honored to have fans like you guys. You know what I mean? That are all enthusiastic, and like Tyler, being the first one in line the other year. And it's like, to me, like I said, it's surreal, because working for this company, it's allowed myself, and I'll just speak for myself actually right now. So when it's allowed me to appreciate the opportunity that we have to make these type of products, because when I was doing toys, I've seen toys in Japan that they filled aisles with stuff that I worked on for SpongeBob in Japan drop, and it was like tons of people were there looking for these particular chasers and stuff like that. I thought that was really cool, because again, it's something that you work very hard for. None of you guys know the amount of hours, sacrifices, frustration, headaches, times where you like bang your head on the screen because you're either you're late on your schedules, you're running late on something, or you can't figure out this design. Like, and then it finally gets released and it's like, oh, the paint sucks. And you're just like, oh, I wish it was more like, and then it gets released, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, we love it, it's the coolest thing in the world. And then you're just like, huh, really? Okay, great, we did it. And so
I will say we kind of get what that's like, because there's times where we'll edit a video. I'll spend like a month and a half editing a particular video, and nobody will give it a dang. And then there's other times I'm like, I'll throw this up, and it blows up, millions of views, and I'm like,
do you have a specific animatronic that like you thought was not going to do well, and then it just did amazing?
I think one that stands, I don't even know, because I mean, I could probably say Bag of Bones.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I thought this was going to be a complete disaster. I thought I had it in the bag. Like, I thought, what the heck? We had some other cool ideas that were passed on, but then when I saw this thing, and I was like, what the hell? And then like I said, but again, it's one of those things where you cannot really judge it, because there's times where you just have to trust that our buyers they know exactly what's going to sell for them. You know what I mean? So we as designers, sometimes we get so hung up on our designs getting out there that we forget that this is still a business, you know what I mean? And so we still got to make, we got to sell product, and so if they feel they could get something super dirt cheap and then it gets sold and it does really well for them, well, kudos, because maybe the one that I designed was probably too expensive and they couldn't sell. And then they're stuck with millions of dollars investments and they couldn't get their money back. So like I said, those are the things that a lot of people don't see when they get stuff on shelves, and they're just like, ugh, what did Spirit do? And look at what they're doing. And then, but in reality, you're not thinking about like, hey, that stuff pays for Carlos's salary, it pays for this guy's salary and that person's salary. And if that thing doesn't sell, it's not a good thing. You know what I mean? So, so the thing is, like, again, we work as a team at Spirit. And so that's the beauty of what we do. And so we try our best to, I know that the buyers try their best to accommodate our request to like, oh, we like this particular thing. And so and then they'll lean towards it if they feel it's like it man, it could work. But then there's times where it's just like, like it's going to be too expensive. But I also have another product in mind that could do really well for us and we'll blow out of them really quickly. So that hence Bag of Bones. Like, and that's one of the ones that I thought like, man, we're gonna get ripped online. You know what I mean? And so, but in reality, everybody was like, you know what? It's inexpensive and it works great. And so
that's a crazy thing to talk about, because there are some, the one thing I think that we kind of forget is that literally every day people are born. And so literally every day there's going to be someone new coming to this community.
100%.
And that might be their very first
100%. 100%.
We kind of forget about that because we're, ingrained in all of this, that might be someone's very first animatronic. And so 10 years from now, they're going to be like, oh yeah, my first one was Bag of Bones. Just like how we all talked about our very first animatronic.
Well, same thing goes for Little Crouchy. Little Crouchy got so much heat. Like I said, I'm not attached to Crouchy whatsoever. So like I was kind of like, okay, well, we're doing a smaller Crouchy. The amount of like anger towards Little Crouchy was so like heavy. And so, but again, it came down to what you just said right now, Savannah, is like some people can't afford, or they don't have an apartment big or a house like Bricks where you can put 30-foot animatronics in your house. Like, they only have a small apartment where they can put a Crouchy in their room, or they can, they can put it there. So again, those are the things where I've learned a higher respect for my buyers, because I never understood why, but then there is a reason for the madness. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so
right.
That's why, again, I stopped being so critical about why things weren't being chosen. And that's when I first was there, I was like, man, but this thing's gonna kill it. It's gonna be the best thing ever. It looks so awesome and it's gonna blow away anything. No, it's not like that. We're still a business, and we're still there to do the right thing for the company. That's first and foremost. You know what I mean?
Now, do you let that like hate get to you? Like there would be some animatronics, like you were saying, for instance, Young Crouchy, where people just hate on it so much and tear it apart.
I hated Young Crouchy. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, a lot of people did.
But like, do you like let that like get to you, especially if it's, let's say it's something you designed, you put all this time, hard work into, and then someone just tear it apart?
I designed the experiment number 4. So when he came out, he was supposed to be a hand that came out, and he was supposed to be like a very demonic hand. But then
you just confirmed that experiment number 4 was a guy, though. You said he.
Yeah, he.
We never knew. You never know. Could have been a she in there. We got no idea. Now we know.
She, he, yeah, whatever you guys want to call it. But the hand was supposed to be very dynamic, and so we ended up having one that was more closed like this, because we couldn't pull the mold for something more like this in the blow mold. So we went with more of a creature-esque hand, which is something I designed the creature hand because I felt like I wanted more lanky fingers, more demon, almost like a hoof, but not a hoof. So it was supposed to be really cool. But the thing is, like I said, the mechanism, it didn't do the job that it was supposed to do. And I think that's one that I felt like it could have been better. When we went to Penhurst, we filmed it, and it was just so hard to film it because we couldn't find a really cool angle to shoot it because it didn't have a cool feature to it. It wasn't cool. So those are the things that, like I said, I keep in mind now when I design, or when I tell my designers, when I'm designing something, I tell them, I think about how is it going to be filmed, because that's what's going to sell this thing. When somebody sees the video, they're going to be like, I got to have that. That's on my list.
So you kind of just learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, 100%. Like, so you learn as you get into it. And again, you just know what you can and cannot do anymore. And, there's characters that, we come up with. And again, it's just sometimes you got to think about it and say, is it really worth going down that route? Do you really want to draw that? Do I really want to go down? How much is it going to be a long-term production? Is it going to be, you start kind of breaking it down, and then you got to yourself, I don't want to do all that because it's going to cause more headache or something's going to happen. So you try to be smarter in the beginning to ensure that you get the best looking character with the really fun feature, and then so on and so forth. So that's the key thing now, for at least for me it is. I mean, like I said, I design a little bit more smarter now. And again, because I'm not from the Halloween world, and most of the guys in that room have been doing it for 10 plus years, I'm the newbie pretty much there. I've learned my lesson really quickly. And so I'm adapting a lot of my mistakes into my new process. And so even when I art direct, I always keep these mistakes in hand, and I try to get the guys to steer away from things that I failed in. So I'm not ashamed to admit a failure. I'm okay with failure. I love failure because I learned a lot from it.
So you said that experiment number 4, for instance, you said the mech wasn't what you originally, or didn't do what it was supposed to do. What was your idea that it was?
Well, no, it wasn't that it wasn't supposed to do that. It just didn't work. Like I think just the pop out.
Oh,
It,
like you're talking about the magic wasn't there.
yeah, it just wasn't there. It
Yeah.
wasn't like if it popped out, it's like, and it just like it was so like this.
So
That,
robotic.
yeah, I wanted it to like move like just like and then like it
Yeah.
just like something like it's alive. This thing was like stiff as a board, and it's like, and then it was like, what was that?
Latex,
And then,
latex would have been the best options there. Kind of
Hey,
like
it coulda- it
distortions
coulda
will
been.
do.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
but you know what? Latex would have been more
Oh
expensive.
no,
and
no, yeah,
also-
exactly. That's
yeah.
why.
And
no,
also,
I understand.
latex would have going like that back and forth a billion times through that hard plastic.
Coulda
What if one
ripped.
of those fingers hit or something? You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean it's just there's a lot of factors. So again, like I said, it's
Oh,
just
no,
design smarter is important, and so that's the key.
So, I have a question, and you can tell me to shut up. You can tell me, hey, I'm not going to answer that. So I know that
Yeah.
you mentioned Home Depot. So I imagine that you also saw the stuff that came out with Lowe's.
Yeah.
And so my first part of that question is what your thoughts are that Lowe's is releasing pneumatic animatronics. That's part 1. And part 2 is, do you ever picture Spirit going that route? Because I personally don't think that Spirit, we talked about this, I don't think Spirit should, because that's not a take home prop that you can plug in and play with right then and there. You have to buy a compressor, buy a hoses, buy the gauges, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, they're in the game, right? I mean, they're going to do whatever it takes to beat out who we are. The competition is clear. Home Depot and Lowe's are clearly going after that market. They want the haunters. They want that. It's evident. It's there. It's not something that's hidden. It's like, I mean, but and they're launching stuff earlier than we are. They're doing all that stuff because they know our pattern. They get it, and they know our audience because hell, I mean, you guys are posting it every single time something comes out, so they know
Right.
the audience. So they're not stupid. They know what they're doing, and so this is not just random stuff. And their choices for bringing pneumatics is not by chance or something that they just go, whoa, might as well. Let's just no, they know what they're doing, and so that's good that they're doing that because again, it's just something different. You know what I mean? And pneumatics are always fun. But at the same time, like I said, I mean, just looking at what they're doing, I mean, like I said, kudos, man. The more stuff out there for people to make haunts really fun, I'm all for it, man. Like I said, I mean, I'm speaking just for me as an individual, as a consumer. Like I said, the more stuff out there is cool, man. I mean, if you're a haunter and you need pneumatics, you know where to go. Like I said, go to the Hondas, go to the dealership that you know that you need for it. You know what I mean? And
Right.
but we're excited for the things that we're doing. We're excited for what Spirit does because we have man, you guys are all rocking Spirit shirts. I don't
Right.
see any of you guys in any of your stuff rocking Home Depot shirts.
Don't even.
So
Yeah.
so like I said, to me, I'm not worried about
Hey, I
that.
got a cousin that rocks a Home Depot shirt.
Why?
You know,
Because he
hey,
works there.
No, hey, well, yeah, but that's a different
That's a
story.
different story.
You
No,
got
but
the apron.
but in all seriousness, like I said, kudos, man, to like I said, if they're trying it out, go for it, man. But then again,
Right.
they also sell the compressors, so I mean, good for them.
Yep.
Well,
You know
and
what I
I
mean?
always
So-
say, and this is one thing, I don't buy pneumatics. And Brick and I have had back and forth debates on this. I personally don't buy pneumatics because it's one, a whole bunch of extra steps, and two, I don't know if you're necessarily like you were saying, getting the character out of something that always shakes so violently.
Right.
I would much rather have something that I can get a whole character. I can imagine this guy's backstory, you know, what this dude's life may be like, even if he is coming to eat children. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
where you can't always get that on a pneumatic prop. And a lot of pneumatic props I feel are hey, let's focus on fast.
Right.
And that kind of kills the vibe sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you go to Transworld, man, it's like you go to Transworld and everything is like just ready to just literally
Jump
you
at
think
you.
everything's just gonna break because it's so like powerful that it's just like, oh crap, like you hear the metal just going can, and you're just like, whoa, like do I really want to hear that all night? You know what I mean? And so
Right.
but again, it's meant for haunts, like it's meant for outdoor barns and all this crazy stuff. So not who's walking into spirit. You know what I mean? Like that's not who's walking in the spirit. And
Right.
so that's the thing. It's like I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever get into it. That's not my place to talk about. But like I said, from an individual as a consumer, I don't know. I mean, it's good that they have options for people, you know, especially hunters, because they want that stuff. Especially when you can get it affordable and you can buy a cheap mask and put it on the pneumatic and make your own character out of it. So, like I said, good. Like that's great that they're doing that. Fantastic. But I mean,
I agree.
we're
I think having options like that is really cool, but I think Spirit's the best at telling that story behind the character. So I would say Spirit sticking with just that side, I think is smart.
yeah. I mean, like I said, that's stuff that goes on beyond me, and so I would say having options is a good thing for if you want to go somewhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I said, I always, like I said, I look at it like a dealership. You know what I mean? If you want to get an off-road truck, you go to the truck dealer. You know what I mean? You go to a place that sells trucks, and you know you go there and you buy a truck and go off-roading, and they'll lift it for you, and you know they'll sell you the compressor for your pneumatic, and that's great. Like I said, it's a one-stop shop for whatever it is you need for that. But again, for Spirit, we want to give the consumer the fun experience that you guys are all known for, and which is walking through our ISC and seeing this great experience. You know what I mean? And so we're happy to continue giving that.
So do you you know, obviously we know you working full time at Spirit. Do you also do any like side gigs or side commissions or anything as well?
I
Even if
do.
it has nothing to do with monsters, just like, hey, you know, I
Yeah, I mean,
do.
it's like, you know, well, right now, like I said, I'm really busy right now working with the Artisan Social Club, and so that's been my biggest working relationship right now with that, building that from the ground up here in New Jersey and the East Coast, and my partner
Can
is
you
working.
elaborate on it a little bit for everybody
Sure.
out there?
So the Artisan Social Club is a club that I started in California. It's basically a pre-prep organization that helps students and struggling artists get the direction they need to get to their career. You know, we really help out kids with mentorship programs. You know, we help them with their portfolio reviews, help them to understand what exactly is needed in a studio that they're looking for. So what we do is we have mentors from all around the different industries, from video games to movies. You know, we have graphic designers, animators, graphic motion artists. You name it, we pretty much have comic book artists. So all my mentors in the Artisan Social Club, basically what they do is we do workshops. And so what we do is we invite kids and struggling artists or anyone who just wants to get, you know, a little bit of insight as to what the industry is like. We basically, you know, teach these courses to better equip you and understanding what to expect, not only when you go to school, but also when you're an industry professional. Like if you just started, you're a junior designer, you just got out of art school, you go to one of our events, go to a workshop, and we basically walk you through like, hey, you know, make sure you brush your teeth, you know, make sure you know you. It's like it gets to that nitty gritty stuff, because listen, I'm gonna kid you. Like there's some kids that are come out of school, man, that are just
That's true.
they're just straight up, they're just a mess. And so what we try to do is we try to give everybody a chance to become somebody. We want somebody to get the best experience possible, because you know what, everybody that struggled through hard school has a financial debt from that school that they're going to have to pay for. And the fact that you're not getting a career in the field that you went to pay for is a travesty, because they don't prepare you for the real world.
Right.
So what we do is we come in and we say, okay, you know, we have so and so from this X studio, whatever. So like, I'll give you an example. Like we have my buddy Jared, right? So he works with Legacy Studios, and he worked on like Megan and King Kong versus Godzilla, and he works on all these cool movies, right? He just finished doing Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and all this stuff. So he's done a lot of cool stuff. What he would do is like, you know, he would go in and sit down with a character team. Like I'll have like an artist from video games that also does character design, a movie guy, a toy designer. So there's a spectrum of artists that sit down, and what we do is we basically tell everybody, here are your options as a character artist. Here are the different fields you can get into. And then each one of these guys will tell you exactly how to get into these particular fields. So what I do is I'm a moderator. So I basically introduce the group, and then they do a live demo, or I'll do a demo. And then, you know, we share a little bit of insights of what the studios and, you know, the directors are looking for. So that's basically what we are. I mean, we were trying to aim for more of a inner city kids that can't afford to go to school. We're a nonprofit organization. So, you know, we really help kids in the inner cities, and foster care programs too, the foster kids. So we really try to help kids that really need a chance, especially troubled youth. You know, I was a troubled youth too. You know, I was in graffiti. I was doing a lot of bad things. And so, you know, my probation officer gave me a chance. and introduced me to Walt Disney Studios, and you know, here I am, man. I'm doing what I love to do, and so he gave me a chance to stop writing on walls, and I want to give another kid a chance to also get out of whatever mess they're in or their circumstances. If they can't afford to pay it, we're hoping that through our program and our workshops, we can help kids get a better understanding of what's going to require to get to those levels, and find them the right mentors to be able to achieve these type of careers. And that's why, again, you know, we're always looking for donors and people that can help fund the organization so that we can be able to help kids, you know, when we fly in artists to come speak to them and things like that. So it's starting out to be great. Again, giving me the platform to talk about it today is great. So thank you guys for that.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, it's a very positive organization, and it's something that's leaning towards bringing creativity to everybody who can't afford to get the right insights.
And you currently have, you said 2 locations in Los Angeles and New Jersey?
Yeah, so New Jersey's starting up. LA's always been established. It's been going on for a while. And we get together and we just draw. We hang out, draw with industry professionals, and you get to sit and talk to people that worked on, you know, God of War, or, you know, any of the games, or, you know, movies that they worked on. So you get to sit alongside of them or hear them talk about, you know, the industry stuff or things that they've experienced that are maybe something you might need to hear, you know what I mean, that you never would have, you know, heard in school.
So I'm going to say this. We're going to make sure that we put a link down in the description so everybody can check out the Artisan Social Club.
Thank you. Appreciate
it's
that.
just artisansocialclub.com, right?
.com, that's right. Yep.
Okay. And then also, and I haven't talked to my wife and wonderful producer over here, Amy, yet, but I'm going to now. Every once in a while, I do a crazy long live, and we raise hundreds of dollars for something. So me and you need to get together so that I could schedule up a live where every single dime that we bring in, we can donate to Artisan Social Club.
Awesome, man. That's greatly appreciated, dude. Thank you for that. That means a lot.
Yeah. No, we're really big, both on the podcast and all 3 of us individuals, as giving back. And you know, me personally, I'm always about pushing mental health, especially for a lot of these young kids who are, you know, 14, 15, 16 years old, and they didn't have you know, the kind of guidance that they probably needed. I know I was that kid, and
Yeah.
I didn't learn about taking care of my own mental health until I was, you know, in my mid 30s, you know, because a lot of people say you can't admit that you got a mental health issue because you're worried you'll be stemmed a certain, you know, you'll be called a certain thing, or, you know, you're crazy or what have you. And so we always push something big on that. And you know, I really appreciate that you're giving back to folks that kind of need that heads up of like, look, dude, you can take control of your life, and it doesn't always have to be this way.
That's right.
And that's beautiful to hear, man. Beautiful.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, right now we're extending it to veterans and their families, and we're trying to do veteran programs where veterans with PTSD that struggle. We want to bring art as a therapeutic way of, you know, learning, and also help them with a trade, maybe learn how to do digital stuff. So I'm working with a couple of companies that are willing to donate some laptops and things that I can bring to some vets and stuff like that. So I really want to encourage people to check out the Artisan Social Club, because it is there is a bigger vision. It's a bigger purpose than just us drawing or even just us, you know, creating stuff. It's more about, you know, setting your goals and helping somebody reach those goals that doesn't have the means to do that. So it's definitely a positive thing for sure.
Yeah, that's really
amazing.
dope. Other than the Artisan Social Club, I imagine you got some other future plans coming up for yourself, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on right now. There's there's projects right now in the works, and so
That you can't talk about.
that I cannot talk about right now. But it's like I said, it's all positive, and again, it's always rewarding, you know what I mean, working on other projects that, you know, are beneficial for others, not just for myself or anything like that. So
I can think of another side thing we really haven't touched tonight, which I just thought of. Pneumatic.
oh yeah.
Are you still? Do you have any
I
more
am.
copies
That's
left? Are you
another
still
one.
selling them?
Yeah, so I just had to order a new box. So I just got it in like 2 days ago. I got a new box of Pneumatics. I only got 50 of them left. It sold really well.
For
and
those
so I had
that
to
don't
get-
know, can you elaborate on what it is?
Yes, I'm sorry. So Pneumatic is it's my art book. So I made an art book. It's basically the collective works of my last, I think it's 4 years. I keep saying 3 or 4. It's about 4 years worth of my work. And so it has everything in there from character designs, my process. I share with you how I go from sketches to final. I give you a tutorial in there of how I draw, how I paint. And then I give you a little backstory of my cover, because the cover is actually a very special cover. The cover is really something that I struggled with for years, like years. I actually hunkered down and I drew him and inked him, and then I started painting him in the way that I would do it for Blizzard. And that's what that cover became. But if you look at the second version, it looks horrible. Like, it looks like I mean, it just looks like I just literally gave up on him. Like, I saw it and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do this. So I put it away for about 3 years, and then I came back to it, and then I painted what became the cover. Do you see him? He's all jacked up.
Yeah, he
And
almost looks like Rango.
Yeah, he does. So then on the other side is the actual final product. But if you check the dates on there, it actually gives you like almost like a 3-year window or something like that. It took me like 3 years to do it. But yeah, man, it's a fun book. It's just a collective works, and I'm working on volume 2 right now. And in that one, I'm gonna have Ghost Rider in that one. I'm gonna have what's his name? Tetsuo from Akira. I'm working on, who else am I doing? Oh, and I'm doing a couple horror ones, but I'm gonna see what's up. I was thinking of doing some female versions of characters, like I was gonna do like a female Boba Fett, or different characters like Batgirl and things like that. But I haven't decided on that yet. But for sure, you're gonna see Tetsuo from Akira there, and a new Batman. So I'm gonna do a Batman as well in there too. So
I used to love Ghost Rider, man.
yeah, Ghost Rider.
I hated the movie though.
That was pretty bad.
That was bad. But he was one of the most badass comic books out, dude.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
if you just looked at the image, a biker
Yes.
with a skull head
Yes.
on fire.
You know what'd be really cool if Guillermo del Toro did
Did
Ghost
the
Rider.
movie. Ooh.
If he
And
did a
worked
Ghost
on
Rider.
and if he worked on the script with Quentin Tarantino.
I love
'Cause
it.
Quentin Tarantino was talking about he wanted to do a long time ago, he wanted to do a superhero, and he couldn't figure out which one. That would be a combo right there.
That would be an awesome combo.
That'd
Damn.
be a great
I didn't think about that. That's a good one.
Rated R. Rated
Rated R
R.
for sure. He should just do a new Blade
Oh, dude, yeah.
with
Yeah.
with Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah. That combo.
Mm.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
They could really take almost any subject and make it like
100%.
I see Wreck-It Ralph behind you. He could do a Wreck-It Ralph, be like, whoa, all right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna wreck it. And he's like, way
Just tears
detailed.
people's heads off.
So, and again, I know we can't say much about 2023, right?
No.
So I'm gonna keep the questions with 2022.
Got it. All right.
So we talked about the idea to have a projector in the back of Reagan's body, right?
Yep.
Are we going to see some new cutting edge stuff like that for 2023? Are we going to see, hey, you know what, we're going to go back to the classics? Are we going to see something that is like, hey, you know what, we might get a little bit more dark like how we used to? Is there anything you can give us about 2023's animatronics? Because if I don't ask this, people are going to throw bricks at me when they say, not this guy, they're going to throw
Yeah,
rocks at,
I'm gonna get
rocks
thrown
at
at
me.
So they're gonna throw that break, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've mentioned this to all of you guys before. Like, I'm the least person that's gonna want to spill the beans on anything for you guys, because I really am in the mindset of surprise. I am not an advocate for leaks
and all that.
leaks. I'm not, because we work very, very hard in our team. All of us, every single person there works very hard, long hours, sometimes on weekends, just to bring you guys some really killer stuff. And so the excitement for us is to see the reveals happen. You know what I mean? Because then you guys get super excited. When leaks happen, then it kind of kills the magic, and then people start destroying either the idea or the character or the story or his name. Like, for example, with Reagan, for example, somebody wrote online and said, "Oh, she doesn't even have the real movie audio." Yeah, she did. You just didn't. You just read it.
Right.
Yes, we did. The only difference is with Reagan is that with Reagan we had to enhance her audio. And
Yeah,
so
because it's from the 80s.
it's from the
Mhm.
80s. Like you
Right.
got to come on, man. Like you got to give it a break. So I think that when somebody takes a cool character like that and then just starts bashing it up front, it really takes the magic away for other people. You know what I mean? And so I think it's kind of neat to, like, when you get a reveal like that, you just kind of like it, just embrace what it is instead of trying to dissect it, because when you dissect it you really do yourself a disservice, because you really don't know what the magic really is until it gets activated. When you
Right.
guys go to the store and you actually see, oh shoot, he's really that tall, I thought he was this small, and then you know everybody changes their whole perspective, and now you got to go make another video of like how, no, I was wrong, it actually is this big. And
Happens
so
all the time. It really
it
does
happens
happen
all
all
the
the
time, right?
time.
So I
That
think
was, I'll be honest, that was me with Mr. Dark.
yeah,
Mhm.
I
no,
thought
Mr. Dark,
Mr.
yeah.
I saw the leak of Mr. Dark and I was like, dude, this thing sucks. It's gonna go up slow.
Yeah.
It's and then I saw that the real Mr. Dark. I
Yeah.
learned a lesson about leaks, to be honest with you. On
Yeah,
that.
no, it's and
Because
that's what I mean. So
It's
when I
like
get
it's crazy because you'll see like a pixelated picture, and I
Yeah.
actually posted a leak, not a spirit one, but
Yeah.
a leak just this week, and made it sure that the picture was extremely pixelated because I wanted to see what people's 2 cents were.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they'll look at a pixelated picture and they'll say, oh, this is the best thing or this is the worst thing, and you can't see any detail.
That's right.
You got
That's
no
right.
idea what's really
That's
going
right.
on.
That's right.
It's a trip. It's a trip.
No, but I think that's the key thing. So like I say, for 23, all I can say is that we worked very, very hard in 23 to bring you guys some really cool stuff. And I think the cool stuff that you guys are gonna see, we're hoping that it really gets us to that level that we've been wanting to get to. And so whatever that means for you, all good. You can interpret that however you want. But I'd rather hear you guys in the comments and be like, man, I'm glad he didn't tell me, because I would have not expected this. You know what I mean? I'm glad that he didn't say nothing. Or, you know, I rather just let you guys open your presents on Christmas when it's ready, instead of me ripping a hole so you guys can see what you're gonna get.
So I do have another question with that,
Go
talking
ahead.
about the before Christmas thing, because
Yeah.
this is where I'm going to start diving into. I said we're going to hit you with some hard questions.
Go ahead,
right?
go ahead. I'm ready.
So last year, before flagship,
Yeah.
you know, and you got to think months in advance. We're buying tickets. Kids are, you know, people are coming from Alaska and all this other stuff. It was crazy. Spirit started selling some of those props before flagship was out, or before flagship opened, right? And I know that you might not have anything to do with that or what have you, but it kind of sucked because all of us who waited there in line to see these things firsthand, we saw someone unbox it like 3 or 4 or 5 days before.
And then we saw people bring the animatronics.
They were
to
bringing the
Flagship.
animatronics before we
even
could
got
get
to
into
get
the
in.
store. And it was like,
So yeah, so you're absolutely right. So I do not have anything to do with that, and I don't know.
I thought you were gonna say you're absolutely right. That's yeah. No, you're like, I got nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I got nothing to do with it. No, but no, it's like yeah, again, it's like those are things that, again, I have truly no control over. I don't even know who to even point a finger to. I just feel like you know, Spirit has a lot, you know, a lot of fans, and I think a lot of them want to have that exclusivity, because again, it's content, right? I mean, you guys all want the freshest, latest content, you know, because that helps you guys. Unfortunately, like I said, it's just there's just something behind the doors that I have no clue that happens. You know what I mean? Especially with the market, there's a team of marketing people that they have their agenda, and I am not part of that. So unfortunately, like I said, it's
When you say there's a team of marketing people, so do you have, even though it's a art director position, do you have nothing to do with like that, for instance, that little snippet trailer we saw, or is that also part of your repertoire?
the snippet. So the only thing I'm involved with that is just that I'm just there to help shoot. So I'm not there to edit or anything like that. That's just the way that the marketing team does their thing. And so I'm not part of their decision of what goes in, what goes out, or, you know, on occasions I get to see it before everybody does, and I get to review it, and it looks cool, and I'm it's interesting because, you know, they literally have fun with you guys. Like, they literally have a blast with you guys, and so just so you know, they have a good time doing it for you guys. And so
Yeah, because I'll tell you, when it dropped, us three, we were
In a call playing games.
playing video games in the middle of the night, and it dropped, and we all freaked out. And then we started dissecting every
Every bit.
frame, like frame by frame of the trailer.
Yeah.
And started, overexposing certain pictures, and we were able to see this, we were able to see that, we were able to see.
Who of all of them did you guys were like, yes?
I want to know who the one is that. Do you guys remember what the name is of
Wait.
the girl on the
Darling.
tombstone?
Wait.
Darling
Dolly?
Dolly or something like that?
I don't remember.
Not menacing Molly, right?
No. So there's
Well-
little shots in there, ba, 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 ba,
Yeah,
ba,
yeah.
and it's showing like what's it? Night. Amy's
No, there
pulling
was
them up right now.
Creepy Rising Doll we saw.
There was Death
no, we
Stalker.
heard.
Or
Are
heard,
you
yeah.
talking about Death
So
Stalker?
it shows like Death
Okay.
Stalker's gravestone, and then there was another gravestone, and I thought it was Darling. Was it Darling Dolly?
Might. That
Yeah,
sounds
it's
right.
confirmed. It's Darling Dolly.
Okay.
It says Darling Dolly. It shows like a date and everything, and it says something about how she's now always changed.
Forever
I don't remember.
changed.
Forever changed. And then one half of her eye, one half of her face on this tombstone is closed. One half is open. That's the one I'm mostly like, what the heck is this about? Because it's not a prop that we've seen. And there was a lot of stuff that was like, hey, we've seen this, or like a throwback to this prop, a throwback to that prop.
Mm-hmm.
This particular, whatever it is, could be nothing now. I don't know. You're starting to scare me. You're making me, maybe we spent a time freaking out over something that he's like, I don't even know what that is.
No, I mean, like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it's like they have a good time with you guys. Like they really love that you guys do this sort of stuff. So, I mean, that's happy to hear, man, because you guys are doing exactly what what's intended. And so,
Right.
I think that's the chase, right? You guys want to chase what's there, and so, and I think the beauty of that for us as designers, like we love seeing those chases because you're entertained by the fact that you're taking it to another level that we never anticipated.
Oh no!
Oh no!
It was going so good.
Oh.
No! I think Spirit pulled that plug on purpose. They were like,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
talking about Darling
Talk
Dolly.
about this.
I want to know about Darling Dolly so bad.
I don't think he's gonna tell you much. Yeah.
No, he's not going to tell us anything. He's smart. He's like, oh,
we're
you're back.
All right, I don't know what's going on here.
You were forever changed.
Yeah.
Somebody saying shut Carlos down.
That's what I said. I said the same thing.
Somebody shut that boy down.
He's getting too close to talking about Darling Dolly.
He almost slipped. No, I don't really know because okay, here's the thing. So I'll be honest. Like when the names change, I don't know who the hell you're talking about. I don't know anything you're talking about. So once the names change, I don't hear about it till later. So when you say something Darling, whatever, I'm like, who is that?
But you do know what I'm talking about where it says something with the I or something, right? You got to know. Guess not. Or is he frozen?
He's frozen.
Is he frozen or is he just giving me the
All right,
stare?
now we know
I'm
it's
just kidding, I'm just
definitely.
kidding.
Oh my God.
Gotcha.
I thought he was frozen.
That was crazy.
That was
That
perfect.
was awesome.
That
That
looks
was
really
too
real.
clean.
That
was
was so
too
good.
clean.
That was so good. Oh my- He's like, I'm not saying nothing.
And with that, no.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And in all seriousness, man, we at Spirit, dude, like I'm gonna speak for my team. We really appreciate you guys for the love and support you guys put out for Spirit, whether good or bad reviews. You guys are always honest, and we do appreciate your feedback. We're always looking for that, man. We always want to improve. We always want to bring our very best to the fans and to the to the consumers, those that are just not haunters, but everyone. So and because I'm not a speaking representative of Spirit, I'm just another worker bee there. But for like I said, for my team, we definitely do appreciate all the love and support you guys have shared to our team, especially at events. You guys come up to us and say what's up, and all that stuff. So again, it's always nice to see you guys and see the excitement you guys get when when we're in the room, or even when Spirit's launching something. We love to see your excitement for it, because that's why we do it, man. We love to see the fans interacting and socializing within each other's groups and sharing. Oh, did you see this? Did you see that? And so to us, it's it's a satisfying feeling to know that there's appreciation for the work that we put out.
Well, yeah, no, I think you guys are great at listening to your fans. So I think speaking for all three of us, we thank you too. A lot of companies just release stuff. You guys actually listen and release stuff based on the fans, which is really cool to see. But we're gonna let you go now. This has been a very long podcast. Sorry for
Thank
all of the technical difficulties.
You guys are fine.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. I know a ton of people will appreciate hearing from you, and we will definitely put those links in the description for people to go check that out. And you said people can find you on Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram at Carlos, and then the number 3, and then art, A-R-T. So Carlos 3 art on Instagram.
right.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, thank
Sounds
you so
beautiful.
much for
Awesome, guys.
joining.
Thank you.
Everyone listening in, we will be back next Sunday.
Bye,
Thanks
guys.
for watching.
Peace
appreciate
out.
it.
Peace
Bye.
out.
Next Sunday, we'll be back.